Welcome to the Crypto Andrew Show. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. We're live earlier than normal because I have other things going on tonight. But let's see what's going on here on Bitcoin. If you guys want to join the Telegram group, link to join is in the description below. That's where I post whenever I go live and all that fun stuff. Thank you for the likes. I want to dive right into Bitcoin. But first, let's see what the Crypto Fear Greed Index is looking at like. I just want to make sure I'm live. I am live, so that should be all good. So right now, the Crypto Fear Greed Index is 16 in extreme fear. So that is where that's saying. The other thing we can go and look at is Bookmap. If you guys are unfamiliar with what Bookmap is, Bookmap basically shows you where all of the liquidity is sitting on Bitcoin. It's a free thing that you can use for the main assets like Bitcoin and gold and maybe silver. And then if you want to use it for other things like Dogecoin or altcoins, you would have to pay for it. But this is a free indicator. Say silver's here, and this is a YouTube channel that's streaming it. But so this, let's just see what's going on. Let me just refresh this really quickly. It might be being a little bit stubborn. By the way, if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below and I'll look at them. But yeah, let's resume and go back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame. It is getting overbought. And to me, like the bigger time frames still look bearish to me. You had a major dump on the 3-day time frame, and now you're going sideways, and it kind of looks like it's just a bear flag for Bitcoin on the 3-day. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm not a scientist, but I will say it looks more bearish than bullish right now for Bitcoin. And I drew this. I see it coming up and then coming back down and then eventually dumping out of this bear flag. And I will give you the measure move one more time. We can re-chart it. But it looks more bearish than bullish to me for Bitcoin. That would take you down to about a $35,000 or even a $30,000 Bitcoin right now. So I gotta say, guys, the 3-day time frame looks bad to me. The 4-hour time frame wants to pump a little bit, but overall, I see more downside for Bitcoin, maybe down to the high 20s or low 30K range. This isn't guaranteed. It's just one of my thoughts on the market. I see major resistance for Bitcoin right where we are right now. Is that going to be a double top at 75K? If you can't get above 75,000, that's very bearish. So, and then you have a little bit of support at 62.9. And then eventually 60K is very strong weekly support. If you lose that level, you're coming down to 50,000 and then 35,000 and then probably 30. So we'll see what happens. If we do not get above 75,000, I would be looking for 63K to be the next target for Bitcoin to the downside high. How's it going? So that's what I see going on for Bitcoin right now. The 2-day's overbought. You see the daily is overbought, well below the 200-day moving average, and it just looks more bearish than bullish. If I look at the 12-hour time frame, you have a red dot on the 12-hour time frame, and 12-hour has a red dot. Stock RSI is curving to the downside, suggesting that Bitcoin is going to take a tumble to the downside, and that would be not a lower high, but a double top on the 12-hour. And then we look at the 8-hour. 8-hour stock RSI curving to the downside. You have money flow curving to the downside with a red dot for Bitcoin. So again, it looks bad. You look at the 6-hour, touching the 200, got rejected right now, trying to make a higher low on the stock RSI. But again, the 6-hour time frame right here has another red dot, suggesting we fall to the downside. 4-hour time frame is oversold, but it just doesn't look great to me. 3-hour has a green dot. 2-hour had a green dot trying to bounce. It looks like, to me, still looks like a lackluster bounce on the smaller time frames for Bitcoin, and it just doesn't look great. And that brings us to the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. 15-minute time frame is below the 200-day moving average, and to me, like, even on the 15, you could just say that this is just a bear flag. It's the same thing that the 3-day looks like. And we go back to the 3-day. The same thing that the 3-day looks like, except it's on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, if I just give you the quick TA of this 15-minute bear flag, this alone suggests that you're going to take a tumble. Even if you're conservative with the measure move, I mean, that suggests short term that Bitcoin's going down to 68,000 or 67.7. So we'll see what happens. I'd be surprised if we don't dump to 68K sometime tomorrow or Monday. But that's just my thoughts. I think it's most likely that we do go down to 68,000. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys hit the share. It does help support the channel. Yeah, it does help support the channel if you guys hit the share button. Average view duration is 5 minutes and 29 seconds. How is that possible? It says no one's why. I don't. Okay, whatever. So that's what I see going on for Bitcoin. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below and I'll look at them. But Bitcoin to me looks like you could take a tumble down to maybe 67.7 or 68K. So that's my quick update on Bitcoin. There's an altcoin that I do want to talk about. It's called River. And River has actually, while the rest of the market has been pretty awful, River has been in a nice uptrend. And I would say you've been in this uptrend ever since the 10th of March. So you could say the last 4 days, it's been one of the better coins to hold. You bottomed. How would you know that's the bottom? Well, you probably wouldn't until you made a higher high, higher low. But you did bottom, to be fair, at 10 point. Basically, we'll call it $11. So since the bottom 4 days ago, River has quietly doubled up. And I would say, as long as you continue to hold this trend, which right now, as long as you stay above $21, this thing will continue to go up. If you lose $21, that's when maybe you could look for a reversal back to the downside. The first support I see is 18.5. But if you hold $21, I see this continuing higher. And if I zoom out to the higher time frames, first of all, the all-time high is $86. That is something to note. And it went up so fast and came back down so fast. But at this point, you're above. Are you above this level? No. If you get above $24, I see $24 being the next major resistance for River. If River can break $24 to the upside, the next real resistance that I see would probably come in between $35 and about $37. So we can just say, hey, maybe in this range, $36 could be resistance. If you get about $36, I mean, maybe a little resistance at $67, and then you're looking at $84 for River. So, I mean, that's kind of my update. I'm going to make this purple, which means all-time high. But for me, River right now, if you get above 24, which we're a few dollars away, but you touched 23 earlier today, if River gets above 24, I see the next resistance being $35. That could be a really nice 50% pump on River. So River is oversold on the 1 hour. Now, money flow is coming to the downside. That's duly noted. But I see 3 straight red dots on the 15. Our side's making a higher low. You're holding the trend line. I mean, at this point, money flow is also creeping down on the 15-minute, which is making a high. I mean, that's good because usually when it's creeping down, that means sellers are coming in. But when it's creeping down and you're making higher lows, that means the trend is continuing higher. So I see River continuing. And again, this is not financial advice, but if you enter now with a stop below this trend line around $21, as long as you still hold $21, I don't see why River doesn't continue to $24 and then $35 if you break 24. So that's my quick update. I would say this is probably one of the hotter altcoins in the market. Now, if you look on the day, it's only up 11%, but still, it's a lot better than the rest of the market. And again, in the last 4 days, it's up 100%, 100 and change. So, you know, I'm trading this. I'm actually long on it right now, and my average entry price is around maybe it was $21. So I don't have an absolute great entry on it, but I have been in this trade for going on a day now, and I'm in the long. So we'll see what happens. That River to me looks like one of the better altcoins out there in the market. So that is the one I'd watch. So another thing that we can go look at would be Bitcoin dominance. If you guys are unfamiliar with what Bitcoin dominance is, it basically shows you how the altcoins are doing compared to the rest of the market, which would, the rest of the market, right, would be Bitcoin and Ethereum. If this chart is going up, I'll start on the daily time frame. If this chart is going up, that means that altcoins are doing well. Wait, no, I'm not looking at... That would be total market cap. This is Bitcoin dominance. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the... I want to look at... okay. I'm looking at something that I want to look at total market cap. Well, I guess I can look at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is... Sorry to confuse you. Bitcoin dominance is basically how well Bitcoin is outperforming the rest of the market, which would be altcoins. Okay. So right now, daily is struggling. I will say that. I thought I was looking at the total market cap. Weekly looks like it could get a pump, which means that Bitcoin could kind of outperform the rest of the altcoin market. And I would say 99% of altcoins, if not more, are going to get crushed against Bitcoin if you're looking at the higher time horizon. Like if you look at 1+ years from now, Atom is probably going to get crushed by Bitcoin. Ethereum most likely will underperform Bitcoin. So, I mean, if the next bull run's gearing up to get ready, that could be fantastic. The other thing I got to be honest with you is this a descending triangle? And I just saw this now. Descending triangles are bearish, and they suggest more downside. If this happens, that means altcoins could maybe outperform Bitcoin. This is just one idea. That suggests you could go down to 46%. Anytime you really get below 40%, I've seen the altcoin season really take off. So we could be gearing up to make a move lower. This could be a descending triangle. Yes, you're oversold in the stock RSI, but you never got completely oversold. You went down to 9. I gotta be honest. I will be honest. I see this as a descending triangle for Bitcoin if I just look at the weekly. And that suggests that Bitcoin could kind of struggle against the rest of the market here in the next few months. So I would be careful. And that would align with what we saw on the Bitcoin bear flag down to 30,000. So I got to be honest, I see a possibility of a black swan event happening. And I believe that black swan event, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's something worse. I hope and pray it's not. But what if it's the Iran war? What if that causes gas prices to go to $6? I mean, if we just go look at oil. So, I mean, if Bitcoin is going to go down to 30,000, I would believe you would need a black swan event for that. I believe that could be World War III or the Iran war. So U.S. oil is crushing it. If U.S. oil continues to go up and hit my measure move of 134, that would probably double gas price, make gas prices go up another 50% from where they are right now. So think that they're $3 a gallon. In Wisconsin, they're $3.10. If this happens, if we go to $135, gas prices are probably going to go to $4 easily, maybe a little more. So we'll see what happens. Some gas prices are $3.4 here in Wisconsin. Depends where you go. If oil goes up, that to me means a black swan event is happening. So I kind of believe this is how it's going to go. If oil continues higher, that probably means Bitcoin is not going to do well, because if oil is going up, that means the Iran situation is probably worsening or not getting better. That means gas prices are going to go up. People are going to struggle. If people struggle, most likely people are going to sell Bitcoin so they have money to spend on gas. Or they're just going to be scared that with a war going on and they're not going to want to own Bitcoin. So I got to be honest with you. I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the next 5 to 10 years, but the next 12 months, I still see downside for Bitcoin. You pair this oil chart with the Bitcoin chart, I got to be honest. If oil is going up, I don't believe Bitcoin's going to go up with it. I think Bitcoin would do the opposite. Oil could go up 50%, and I think Bitcoin would drop 40%, 50%. So I see a path for Bitcoin to have a black swan event and go down to 30,000. I do. We'll see what happens. Anything's possible. But you look at the 3-day time frame, it tells me that Bitcoin is in for some troubling times. So yeah, we'll see what happens. That's my update, guys. I think that's an awesome macro update, and we'll see if I'm right or not. The benefit of Bitcoin actually having this black swan event minus the gas prices is you could accumulate a lot of Bitcoin if it goes down 50% or more from here. So we'll see what happens. That's my update, guys. If you guys have requests, let me know. Otherwise, with that being said, that's kind of everything I wanted to go over in this market. Look at that, guys. River's gone up 20 cents since I talked about it 5 minutes ago. So I don't see anything stopping it. As long as you hold this level at $21, I don't see anything stopping it from not going to the resistance at 24. And then again, the next resistance above 24 is 35. So I would think that River is one of the hotter altcoins to own. And I think River would be the outlier, at least for the next few hours or day or two, to outperform Bitcoin over the next 24 hours. I could be wrong. If you lose $21, then the statement's incorrect. But we'll see what happens. As always, guys, respect the trend. The trend's to your friend till the end. Right now, the trend's to the upside on this, and the trend's to the downside on this, and the trend's to the upside on oil. So I see upside for River, and we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one. I'll be back live on Tuesday night. Stay safe out there, especially if you're in the Midwest where we're supposed to get some snow. Especially if you're in northern Wisconsin, we're supposed to get 3 feet of snow. That's crazy. But that's my update, guys, on the markets. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.